Hi, it's Lavana Ann. I want to share with you a quick tour of my studio setup now that it's organized and mostly finished. So here is a desk once again in this place. My husband's awesome and he put it here for me and he trimmed his desk down so it would fit next to my other desk space, which I pretty much take up the whole area here. But he shares a space with his desk where he creates his gaming content and he does his gaming. Here is my new area and it needs a ton of work. This part is like the work in process. I made this little shelf out of some scrap wood and random braces and stuff like that I find around. You can see it's a total mess at this stage. I feel like, wow, I've made like the hugest mistake. What am I going to do? You get really overwhelmed at this point if you have a lot of stuff like this in your craft space. You know what I'm talking about. And I am in a really small square footage of like our area is like, I think like 250 square feet, maybe 300. I'm pretty sure. So I made this little uh, holder out of wood for pliers and stuff, and I hung it on the first shelf there. And I have my stamps hanging and all these paper boxes, which I did do a separate video on those, on how I made them. And they're inspired by like French antique boxes. I'm gonna have some paints, some chalk paints. There's a peek at his desk next to me. And in the corner, I have things like beads and twine and ribbons and lace and all kind of craft odds and ends in these boxes. Vintage patterns, these amazing books that are vintage that I thrifted. And these are full of like wood and things like that that I make little signs with. I still need to label them. That's a key holder that I turned sideways and hung sewing scissors and such on. There's a little bit more of the paint collection, my Cricut maker that's really, really awesome that my husband got me, and more of my supplies. That's a LED lamp from Hobby Lobby, and I really, really am so happy to have that. I have screws there because I hang painted wood beads from there when to let them dry, and embroidery stuff, odds and ends, my sewing machine and serger, a few extra bolts of fabric, and a board for cutting, and an iron, and an iron. And let's see, buttons and doodads, little ribbons, tags. And I put these curtains up to camouflage some of the stuff underneath, which I did organize it pretty well, where it's easy to access the stuff underneath. And that's the completed area for now. And it feels a lot more aesthetic. Here's the fabric I've moved into this cabinet that my husband picked up for me, which I did do a shorts on that, and it's really awesome, and I absolutely love it. It's from England. And there's Kitty in the background, and our bedroom is also the other half of the studio. Thank you.